Hello, 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 Team Integrity. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here with me. We'll get started in just a moment here. All right, Team Integrity. Okay, so as you know, technology is a gift and a curse on this beautiful, amazing platform here. So, my name is Melanie Patterson. I'm the CEO and founder of Team Integrity Knowledge Center. And I am just passionate about giving back to our small business owner community. And about a month ago, we did a Q&A session very similar to this one, and it was truly successful. A young lady who came on stage, posed her questions. We gave some feedback, some very, very clear action steps, and she landed her first government contract on the state level 2 weeks after. And so I said, what would it look like to run it back? And so here we are. We are streaming from all social media platforms. So if you had some difficulties with the link, no worries. Go ahead and stream from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those beautiful places. All right, so let's get started. So this is a very free flowing, organic, healthy dialogue. And so the first person that I'm going to go ahead and bring to the stage is Sanika. Sanika, all right. Hello, hello, Sanika. You should be unmuted once you join the stage. There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm here with you guys on this Saturday morning, really so we can talk about what does it look like for us in our business within 2024. I want you to tell me a little bit about who you are, the business that you own, and then pose your question.
Okay. Well, my name is Sanika Levias. I am a registered nurse and realtor, California realtor. I'm from California, and I am. I don't quite own my trucking business yet, but I am definitely looking. I'm definitely moving into that direction. I have been doing some research. My husband was in the business before, in the box truck business. Unfortunately, we suffered the unimaginable. We lost a child to murder, and that just kind of turned our lives upside down. So now that we have our legs back underneath us, we are ready to go at this thing. And so I Googled nurses in trucking, and you were the first person that popped up. And I was so encouraged when I watched one of your interviews. So what I would like to know, what my question is like, what did you do, your initial step when you were where I am right now? Like, I did just get the sent the paperwork off for the LLC, so I'm right there at the beginning step, the very first step. What kind of advice can you give me, like in my very first step in trying to get this thing off of the ground again?
Absolutely, absolutely. First and foremost, we have to lead with our condolences, and I'm just wrapping my arms around you because that is a very, very tough spot to be in, to lose a child, and especially under those circumstances. So, on behalf of myself and Team Integrity, we send our condolences to you. But I do have to commend you for jumping back on that horse and saying this is not the end all be all, right? I still have to push through, and those are the key characteristics that are needed to be successful within entrepreneurship. And so shout out to you for being here and saying, hey, look, I'm ready to tackle this thing and get it right this time. So I got to be honest and just come out and say, it's not going to be easy, right? You have to have those to thy own self true conversations, because as a nurse sister, thank you so much for all that you do, right? Nurses are as essential as truck drivers. And so it's a career, not a job, right? So it's not like we're just leaving a simple, 9 to 5 type of job, and we can go get another one. This is something that we work very hard for, right? Nursing school is not easy. The NCLEX exam is not easy. One of the hardest things I've ever done,
Absolutely.
to be quite honest with you.
Absolutely.
So it's not easy to let go and walk away from. And then what's the number one thing that keeps us as laborers, as employees? The benefits that come with it, along with the comfortability. So for me, I'm not sure what kind of nurse are you?
I'm a case manager now in outside utilization. So I actually have a really sweet
Yes, you do.
position. I work from home,
Yes,
but
you do.
I am trading my time for their money. I mean, it's too much time. Like, I'm Monday through Friday, I'm tied to my computer Monday through Friday doing what they need me to do. And I just want a little more freedom of my time, and to make decisions about my time. And I know that, all like you said, like, it's not jumping from one thing to another, and it's not going to be easy by any means. But hey, I've done the hard things. I've survived nursing school. I survived the death of a child. So I believe in my heart I can do anything that I want to do. And so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, even though you are in a case manager within the nursing realm, yes, it's a little bit easier. For me, I was ER trauma.
Mhm.
So it wasn't 12-hour shift, it was 15-hour shifts, sun up to sun down, gunshots, and all of those exciting things. And I had to really, once again, have that conversation with myself, trading my time for a paycheck, right? I also climbed that corporate ladder. As you know, you just start out with your associate's degree, your bachelor's degree, you start working, and they tell you what? You got to go back to school. So
Mhm.
I'm very competitive, and my first major was business management and administration, FYI. And so I said, let me play this corporate game. And so I went back to school. I did all the continuing education hours. I obtained my master's degree, became a nurse practitioner, and I was met with, the field is saturated. That magical six-figure number, that high six-figure number, not so much. And so I said, well, wait a minute. I'm capped at this point, and I'm looking through this glass ceiling, and I know that I have much more to contribute to myself, but most importantly to my legacy and my children. And I had just had small children at that time. So I was missing Christmas mornings and Thanksgivings, right? ER trauma, that's 24 hours, 7 days a week. And I said, I'm leaving work to go work in one of my other businesses as well. So that's really what shifted.
Mhm.
So playing the corporate game, being capped, getting all of the education, the certifications, all of the graduate degrees, and then telling me, no, 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 you need to go back. We need more. Having small children, missing out on Christmas mornings, then leaving work to go to work in one of my other businesses at that time. I said, wait a minute, Melanie, there has to be more. And I had to get still. And I said, well, what would it look like to jump into entrepreneurship full time? Because I was a half-ass part-time entrepreneur working in my businesses. So some of my businesses that I had, they were self-sufficient. I put an operator in it, and they kind of ran itself. So I really didn't feel what it felt like to be a full-time entrepreneur. Just full transparency, I didn't.
Mhm.
And so I sat down and I said, what would it really look like? Let's take a look at these numbers too, as well, because we're walking away from a career. We're walking away from medical benefits, right? And jumping into entrepreneurship, you got to balance all of that on your own. And once you have that conversation with yourself, once within yourself, you're like, you know what? I think I would do better by committing my time to my empire versus trading my time for a biweekly paycheck. That's when start to really make the shift, it happens mentally first. It
Mhm.
all needs to take place within your mindset first. And then we're going to move in to the next action steps, which is truly building a business plan. You
Mhm.
really don't need a business plan all the time, but this girl, I'm going to advise that you structure a business plan. What does this really look like for you? Map it out. Shall it be written? Shall it be done? So to speak. And then, most importantly, you gotta align yourself with a mentor, a community, right? We have team integrity membership, only $97 a month. This is a true investment in your personal development and your business development as well. Don't try to learn this on your own. Align yourself with someone who's been in the industry for a while, who has the receipts to showcase that I've been in business some time, I've made the mistakes, and I promise I'll guide you so you won't have to make the same, right? With
Yes.
social media, there's a lot of illusions and all of those noisy things and shiny coins. Just really have discernment when you're aligning yourself with a mentor and a community that will help to guide you. Now, the true action steps that you need to take to really build this empire and really start with a solid foundation. How are we going to structure this business? Do we want to, in the beginning, really understand that we want to align the government as one of our strategic partners? I want to really leverage my status, social economic status. I'm minority, clearly, right? I'm woman, clearly, right? So why not leverage that along with the fact that the government calls small business, disadvantaged business, those that make less than 250,000, as well as those who under next code 484220 make an average annual of 33 million or less. So is that really small? If the government is saying small business for this particular next code, the set aside for this is 33 million. That's
Mhm.
not that small. So I'm okay with the government calling me small and leveraging that as well. So we need to position you, if you want to play this way, as 51% shareholder of this particular empire. Once you showcase on paper that you're 51% shareholder and you are the main operator of this empire, you can then leverage those set asides and those certifications, minority, woman, small business, right? But I
Mhm.
also want to tell you, you really don't need certifications to start playing within the government contracting playground.
Mhm.
What you need is to have a well structured business, right? So you need your LLC, you need your EIN, you need a FDIC secured bank account. I still recommend for you to go ahead and onboard a DUNS number, all right? A Duns and Bradstreet number, completely free.
Mhm.
All right. And then I highly recommend using a physical address. We're going to do away with these iPostals and these virtual addresses. Question I get all the time: Melanie, I'm just getting started. I don't have this beautiful office in brick and mortar. It's okay, you guys. The government knows that we have home based businesses. So starting out using your home address is completely okay. The key is that we want a physical business address. No virtual addresses allowed within the government contracting space. All right. I know that was a lot of information. Any questions with that thus far?
No, that was actually really good information, and it's kind of going along with all the notes that I have here. So it looks like I'm on the right track, and I do understand how important mentorship is in any career or field that you get in. So I'm definitely interested in that.
Absolutely. Mentorship has been key. Something I don't talk about often because people don't really ask. I spent thousands of dollars in mentorship, and that's why I'm where I'm at. And there's no secret. I just don't get the question asked often. I knew this girl coming from the medical field with no knowledge in transportation at all, with the vision that I had, I needed someone to help to guide this, right? And lead me in the right direction. Someone that I could call, email, ask questions, ping ideas off of, use resources. Hey, what software are you using? Hey, who do you utilize for this business credit card, this fuel card? Who are you using for funding and factoring, right? So we can keep that cash flow alive, right? And so those things are essential. So for me, I'm paying. I'm one of
Mhm.
those girls. Those DIY people, that's cool, that's fine. Just be prepared to take longer to get to the end goal rather than having that mentorship, that coaching, that guidance, or simply a community of people who are doing what you're doing, who have reached the goal that you have reached and can help you along the way and kind of give you that GPS to make it a little bit easier to hit that end goal for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And is there? And you may not be able to put a dollar amount on this, but is there an amount of your own money that you should have available if you had to put a number on it, like just to start off? Because I know getting funding for new businesses and that kind of thing, you kind of have to look at your circle, your relatives and friends and family, private investors. What would you say? I mean, what would you say would be a comfortable amount of money to get started?
Great question. And I love that you're thinking along this path ahead of time. So this is essential for small business owners because this is number one bottleneck for us business owners, flowing of capital, making payroll. A lot of us on this call can identify with that,
Mhm.
including me. And so I want to say it's going to be contingent upon the type of business and the type of equipment that you're going to acquire. So for transportation, you're looking to enter into transportation. That's a very large, right, industry. So we have a different type of equipment. We have flatbed, we have dry van, we have reefer, and then we have the box trucks, the sprinters, courier services. So that's going to really weigh on what your capital looks like. But overall, initial investment starting up a business, just initial investment starting the LLC, onboarding the software and technology, maintaining onboarding of your insurance and maintaining of your insurance. I say you should always be looking at about 20K plus, anywhere between 20 to 50K, just initial getting started. Once again, this is not a hard number. This is a variable number, which is going to be contingent on what are you doing? What are you selling? What are you offering, right? Are we doing courier services on the local level where we can use actual civilian vehicles, regular sedans? Do we want to go and reach for the stars and go semi truck route and do flatbeds, right? Oversized dimensional heavy equipment that requires a different level of insurance, that requires a different level of driver, a different pay scale, because those require different skill sets. So overall, in general, we got to sit down and we got to do the work and we got to crunch the numbers to see what it would look like for your empire. For
Right.
me, I did 100K. I threw 100K into the transportation industry, and we started out with 8 units. And just kind of grew from there. But I did go ahead and liquidate some of my real estate portfolio. I washed out my 401K. I walked away from nursing with just me and my stethoscope right there. And I bet it on myself. I don't recommend that for everybody. That's just
Mhm.
me. And I'm very confident in who I am and my personality. I knew what I was going to produce. So I was comfortable with walking away, washing out, cleaning out everything, and just investing and building this empire. Um, but great question. This is something that you want to start looking at now because the
Mhm.
government as well pays net 30. So a lot of people don't understand. Yes, it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative. But how are you going to fund that project up front until you get your profits and your ROI, your return on investment? You got to have the capital up front. And so some of the options that you may have are self-funding, like we
Mhm.
talked about. We have SBA loans. We have factoring companies. We have third-party financial institution companies. Then we have private funders who will fund your investment, your project.
Great. Okay. Thank you for answering that
Great,
for me.
great question. My question to you, I'm always interested. What is keeping you in nursing and not jumping into entrepreneurship?
Like you said, the stability. I mean, the benefits. I have a college age son. My son is still in school, and it's just the stability. I've been working. I work for Kaiser, and so I've been working there for 15 years, and so just the comfort and stability. But we're not gonna grow in comfort, and I do understand that, and so. Um, I'm just doing the necessary. I'm doing the necessary steps. I am always hungry for knowledge, and I'm gonna do what it takes. I want to be. I want my. I want time. I want my time back. I understand, and I need my time. I need freedom of my time. I need freedom of my time, and that's my life. And from losing my daughter, I just want freedom of my time. So a little more freedom of my time, and so that it could be more flexible, and I can do things to give back and help other mothers that have suffered this unimaginable. That is my ultimate goal. Like that is what I want to do, and that's why I need to free myself from this 9 to 5 position that I have. And it's scary, but I believe in myself. Just like you said, if I'm gonna bet on anybody, it's gonna be on myself. And I just have to do the work. And we're nurses, so we're research is built inside of us, and
I have
that
a
is.
bias. I have a bias. I really truly do feel the education that we have to go through with nursing build quality leaders
Yeah.
and quality business owners. That's me personally.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so nurses make great, great, great business owners because of the discipline that we had to instill within nursing school. And so
Absolutely.
no one's watching over you, telling you to get up at 6 a.m. to make sure all your units are running, make sure the team is ready to go, right? But we had that ingrained in us from nursing school. So
Mhm.
I would highly, highly recommend you get uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be scary. It's
Mhm.
new. It's
Yes.
new. It's going to require blood, sweat, and tears. But the results,
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it back. I just wouldn't. Nursing was my first love, my first passion. It was something that I worked so hard to achieve on my own. No man gave it to me. No one handed that to me. That was earned.
Mhm.
And it was hard for me to let go. It really was. But now
Mhm.
that I'm here today in this position, in this role, I wouldn't take it back for nothing in the world. I want to
Yes.
thank you so much for being transparent. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. I was not anticipating that. So thank you so much. Um, and if you need anything, please, please, please reach out to Team Integrity Knowledge Center. Stay on this call. We have something exciting at the end of this call. So make sure you stick around.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to connecting with you in the very near future.
Me too. Me too. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, Vanessa, who do we have up next? That was amazing. That was amazing. Hello, hello, Mark. How are you? Please go ahead, unmute yourself and turn on your camera.
Hello,
Hello, hello, hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Uh, so my question is, so I um started a company in order to do procurement. So I basically started a company, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and I kind of just hopped into it. And like my first step was going to SBA, and I really was just doing some reading. Um, but as of now, I've already started a company, and I've registered with SAM, et cetera, et cetera. But my question is, um, what would be your opinion on uh, this like on getting started as far as getting awarded my first contract.
So let's go back a little bit. So you're stating that you started a business so
Hmm.
that you can basically sell products to the government. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what kind of products are you looking to sell?
While looking at the different next codes, I came to the conclusion that I would do durable goods. It wasn't any specific uh, item that I want to sell, but I figured durable goods would be good. Uh, and like my entire goal was pretty much just to be able to work from home remotely. So I pretty much went from there.
Okay, great. So we're not really clear on what we want to sell, but we know that we want to sell goods from homes to the government. You stated that you are registered in sam.gov. Is that correct? I think we might be experiencing some technical issues with you. All right, so we'll let him rejoin us shortly here. So if you guys are looking to join us and pose your questions, please, please, please join us on stage or just simply drop your questions in the chat. We'll be able to see them. We are streaming live on all social media platforms. But if not, you can go ahead and click the link and join us live on stage to pose your questions. All right, so here we are. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. And thank you for joining from LinkedIn. Mahogany, please pose your questions. I would love to answer all of your questions, you guys. All right. And then we have a LinkedIn user. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad that you opened up your LinkedIn app as well. I'm so glad to have all of you guys here. So really quickly for a moment, in regard to Mark, and whenever you come back, I would love to bring you back on the stage. So he was basically stating that he wants to be a product provider for the government, which is definitely something that you can do as a business owner. But we got to do some market research. We first need to understand, what are we selling to the government? Let's start there. I think that that's going to be key, and that's going to be essential to really understand, what are we selling to the government. And so we want to figure out, what products do we have accessibility to? So what is it that we can sell via a manufacturer and build a relationship with that manufacturer and offer to the government? So the government purchases anything, I swear, I kid you not, from pens, vanilla folders to manure, right? And so that is a very, very general area when you just say products. So I want you to really sit still and understand, who do I already have within my network? Who can I reach out to and showcase my business and my level of professionalism, and the strategy that I'm utilizing by aligning the government as one of our strategic partners, and then kind of go from there. We need to understand, does the government even purchase what they manufacture and what they sell? If they do, what are the categorizing codes, next codes, PSC codes, NIGP codes that the government categorize this particular product as? That may be a little bit tricky. So we got to do some research there. Then, most importantly, let's talk about funding. We just talked about that a second ago. Funding and financing of these particular purchase orders. So you need to either network with your current manufacturer and say, hey, look, can we start a net 30 account? Because I don't get paid until net 30 by my customer. Or we need to start looking at some business funding that can help you to pull this off, so to speak. You definitely would be a really, really good candidate to come join Team Integrity membership. You need really the foundational knowledge of what this is going to look like for you, because it may not be as easy as you think, but not as hard as you think either, if you really have the key strategy of to execute your goals in selling products to the government. Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm not sure if you have returned. If so, drop a comment in the chat and I will love to. There you are. Perfect. I'm going to have you join the stage. Hey, Mark. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. My apology. I'm having a little technical difficulties.
No problem. No problem. I got you. We're working on our end. We just got rid of that echo. So you are good to go. So help me to understand exactly what's your strategy. From what I gathered from the little that you said was that you're like, hey, look, I want to start selling product to the government.
Correct.
So what does that look like, right? So do you have a manufacturer that you have built a relationship with that possibly sells, what were we working on yesterday? Steel pipes, right? That's an opportunity that you can kind of take a look at.
Well, as of I've been doing some research on some wholesalers and things of that sort. I was looking at Alibaba as one, and
okay, so let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Let's put a real halt to this thing. You may not want to do that. That may not be a great idea for you. So the government has something called the Buying Act. Okay, so the Buying Act is, and you need to look that up. So please, please, please write that down. You can find that in the FAR. Okay, so if you go to acquisition.gov, you'll be able to find something known as the Buying Act and get a little bit more information in regard to the Buying Act. To just kind of give a brief overview of what that is, the government really does not want you to purchase overseas, have it shipped here, and sell it to the government.
Okay.
This is the United States government. They really would like for products to be manufactured here within the United States and then sold to the government. That is going to be a really sticky area if you're looking to purchase from Alibaba and have it delivered directly to the government. Not a good idea at all. Let's scratch that off of your business plan now. What you want to do is you want to look at a manufacturer here within the United States, right? Then we want to look at a product that the government buys a lot of and that you have easy accessibility to, as well as being able to purchase and sell it to the government until you recoup your profits, right? So you're not going to sell, well, I'm going to say this. I don't know what your financial situation is at all. But for me, you're not going to sell a Boeing engine to the government for $80 million. That may not work out for you. So we want to kind of bring this down a little bit and make it a little bit more realistic as a small business owner, just kind of getting started within government contracting. So I would advise you to take a look at your local area. So we have your state e-procurement, your city procurement, your county procurement, and then all of your colleges and universities. Okay, I will go ahead and start the company, build that empire, making sure it's structured correctly. And then I would register within those vendor portals as a vendor. I would start to conduct market research and understand what do they purchase in regard to products, because you're not going service based. So you either can sell to the government products or services. Okay. So I want to take a look at what do they procure a lot of in regard to products, right? Toilet paper, vanilla folders. You're going to start to see an increase in like graphic design and pamphlets and brochures, right? So that's something else that you can provide. And then always want to make sure, if this is your strategy, that you're able to fulfill and utilize your strategic partner, AKA your subcontractor, on those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't want to throw too much at you. Any questions with that thus far?
So colleges and universities also purchase goods and services the way that the government does.
Yep, you got it. You hit it right on
Wow,
the head.
I did not know that. So it'd be a good idea for me to find their procurement department and kind of navigate from there on.
So let me share some. I'm sorry, I'm just smiling because let me share something with you. I wasn't planning on even sharing this. So this right here is a 10-year, $10 million proposal by the university.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So yes, the universities, the colleges, they definitely purchase. Absolutely. Mhm.
Is that a proposal that you sent to the university?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And is it procurement?
It's the procurement department. It's the purchasing department, to be just like technical with it. So it is the purchasing department at the university, and they're looking for transportation services for their pharmaceutical component.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so absolutely. So a lot of people, let's talk about that too. All right. So you see a lot on social media, sam.gov, 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 Unisom, BidNet, all of these other different platforms. And in all actuality, you guys can register for free on the state level. All of this is free, right? So we can register with our state, our city, our county, our college, and our universities, and start networking.
Great,
We
great.
have to build the relationships with these individuals to build trust in 10-year, $10 million contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All
Great,
right.
great question. What other question do you have so we can make it really clear on what this looks like for you to be successful and compliant?
Okay. Well, so I actually started this company about um I would say like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been a while. But I kind of got sidetracked into another industry, more so investing and things of that sort. But the my goal was to wait out like 3 years so that I could get the 8A well, participate in the 8A what do you
So,
call it?
so it's the 8A program. So you've had the business for about 5 years, really didn't do anything with it. Now you're looking to kind of rev that thing back up and get started. So 8A program, let's start there.
Mhm.
With 8A, you're putting the cart before the horse. 8A is basically going to put lighter fluid on your business, and you have no clear processes and systems. You really don't even have a vendor to offer anything to the government. Most importantly, you don't have the capital and the funding to support 8A efforts. 8A is really ideal for businesses that have been operating, functioning in business for 2 or more years. All right. So with that, no problem. I got to get the pen and paper. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely. I'm not mad at you. Definitely get pen and paper out. So 8A is something that we can put on our vision board to execute in the next 2 years or so. I want you to get your feet wet and let a little bit of grass grow underneath your feet within government contracting. You don't want to start out right away like, I want to get 8A. You're not going to be successful within 8A programs. Start on this local state level. Start doing some business within your backyard so you can fulfill a little bit easier. Okay. So
Okay.
that's one thing. An 8A program as well, an 8A program, um, you should get some mentoring when you're looking at looking for an AA program. I don't want to get too detailed with it in this, Q&A session, but just know, don't have AA as your first goal and your first objective, starting out as a brand new vendor, a brand new company who has no clear processes, who has no back office structuring, who has no staff to help, who has, the list goes on and on and on. 8A is really more for you to take it to the next level within your government contracting journey.
Right. And that kind of led me also into this question. So I started the company in Seattle, right? So and I actually just purchased a book that was kind of informing me about government contracting. Uh, but what I learned was that there are different types of 8As program, right? So there are like the primary 8A program, and then there is a super 8A program, right? So I was thinking, I'm like, okay, wow, if I get the super 8A program, I can have as many 8A opportunities as possible as I want forever, right? Versus the business I started in Seattle where it would just be one, right? So my question would be, I mean, should I wait 3 years to do the 8A, right? Or should I go ahead and start the 8A now with the prior business I opened 5 years ago?
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with my uh, original suggestion of you getting some grass underneath your feet and understanding what it looks like to be a business partner of the government, the terminology, the processes, the protocols, the FAR compliances, and then kind of go from there. You're selling products to the government. You need to also focus on building a solid relationship with a manufacturer and become an authorized reseller of that manufacturer. So you have a lot of steps that need to be put in place before we even think about entertaining primary, super, 8A, and all of those other amazing GSA schedule opportunities that are available within government contracting.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So government contracting, this is a lifelong customer. So slow down a little bit. All right. They're not going anywhere. Your journey with them is just beginning. The government is not going anywhere. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So don't rush this thing. Really lay down a solid foundation so you can build upon, right? If you just go the route of skipping those steps of developing past performance, really understanding how to be compliant and responsive and execute within government contracting, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even got started. And that's just me delivering to you just honest feedback as a government contractor bidding on 10-year, $10 million opportunities, right? Start slow, get an understanding of what this should look like for you, and then kind of jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, great question. Yep. It looks like you might have another question. What other question do you have for me?
All right. So, well, I guess my last question will be: so, could you give me like what would you recommend on like for starters? Like what? Because I want to have like something, some type of experience. Like, hey, like I successfully um, procured this item to the government.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you know what? The next question is asking about that. So I'm going to answer your next question here in a moment. So we're going to talk about past performance. I want to make sure that you're clear on what this should look like for you as a new vendor.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Mhm.
make sure we start to first, I want to evaluate, is that company even registered correctly and has all of their annual filings up to date? This is a company that was started 5 years ago and you haven't done anything with it. So
Mhm.
let's go to the Secretary of State. Let's make sure that we're in compliance with with this particular business. Let's make sure that we have conducted all of our annual filings with the IRS, right? Let's
Mhm.
make sure that our business count is in place. Make sure we have a DUNS number attached. Make sure that we have a website. Make sure that we have an actual structured business.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we're going to execute with registering on the state level, the city level, the county level as a vendor with the government, and then start selling our services to them.
Mhm.
All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Mark, you're onto something. Don't get You're onto something.
Thank
You
you.
need guidance. You need guidance and you need the knowledge so that you can be within compliant. Because purchasing from Alibaba and then just selling to the government, you will be out of government contracting before you even can get in good.
Mhm. Mhm.
So definitely, definitely continue to do what you're doing. Get in the rooms, understand what it looks like to be a government contractor. A shameless plug, follow Team Integrity Knowledge Center, join Team Integrity membership, right? Start to
Mhm.
develop what this is going to look like for you and then build out the steps so you can be successful. Mark, I want to thank you so much. We powered through that technical issue. That's what you got to do in entrepreneurship. So thank you so much for coming to the stage.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your great advice.
No problem. That's what I'm here for. All right.
Good
Take
work.
it inside. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Great conversation. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I don't want that to be a discouragement for all of you guys who are new starting out. I just want you to understand that the government is one of your best paying customers. And this is not something that you want to take lightly. You want to make sure that you structure this thing correctly and you get it right. That's the key. All right, cool. So we have another question here. Let me say this before I answer this question. This is a live stream. If please pose your questions in the comments. Hopefully they will be getting posted on LinkedIn. They are being posted. Hopefully you guys can see on Facebook, Instagram, and pose your questions there. If not, this replay will be available on our YouTube channel. So Melanie Patterson, under CEO on YouTube. If you have not been able to capture this live, it will be available on YouTube. But you want to stay until the end because I have a special surprise for you guys. All right. So Miss Taylor, good morning. When starting out, what would be the best way to build past performance? This is a very good question. So a lot of times people say, Melanie, I'm just getting started within government contracting and I don't have any past performance. So the number one thing I would say is leverage your professional experience. That's completely okay. Starting out as a new vendor myself, I didn't have any previous government contracting experience, especially as a prime, right? So you leverage your past performance on the professional level. Now, think about projects that you have done that are correlated with the government. So let's take transportation, right? Let's say you were hauling of water and first aid kits during a disaster relief effort. That is an amazing past performance on the professional level to add in your capability statement, right? So even though you're not a registered vendor, even though you're not the prime on that opportunity, but let's say you were able to work on that project, speak to that, right? Because you have experience working on government projects and handling that type of cargo. All right. Next, another way to build up your past performance is to subcontract. All right. So within the government contracting space, there's a lot of opportunities to be a prime, but also a subcontractor. Great, amazing opportunities to be a subcontractor. So what should this look like? All right. So if we are minority, if we are woman, leverage that. So if you are with, let's say you have a dump truck transportation company, you want to show up in front of those large construction contractors and showcase to them that you are minority and woman, and that you have a fleet of dump trucks, a network of dump trucks that can facilitate with the project that they're bidding on, or a project that's coming to the horizon, or a project that they're currently on, that they've won. All right. You want to leverage not only that I have the equipment to kind of utilize and help you with this effort, but also let's partner, right? There's a 6% goal set aside on this particular opportunity, and I'm woman, I'm minority, so let's play together, right? And so those are the different strategies that you can utilize to start developing of your past performance within the government contracting space. Great, great question. Another thing I want to mention, I've heard often that, hey, I can't do government contracting because I don't have any past performance. This is very, very far from the truth. So you can win a government contract without any form of past performance. So you want to keep in mind how, right? You want to show up as a competent vendor, right? So they don't know who you are. They haven't done business with you, and you haven't built that line of trust with them. So how can you showcase that, and how can you get that started? So number one is engaging with them, asking thought-provoking, open-ended questions, showcasing that you've done some research, you know about the projects that are coming up on the horizon. Next, get in the room. Go to the pre-bid meeting. That doesn't mean that you have to bid on it. That doesn't mean you have to bid on it. Did you guys know that you can go into these pre-bid meetings and start to network with them, introduce yourself, get an idea of what it looks like to be within a pre-bid meeting, and then most importantly, guess who's in the room? Most likely the awardee, the prime contractor, is within that pre-bid meeting. And what does that prime contractor and what does that awardee need? A strategic partner, someone to help them with the capacity of that project, or someone to help them with the set aside goal if that is attached to that particular solicitation and that opportunity. So get in the room. It's so important for us to get in the room. They also have a lot of these departments and agencies offer free networking events. All right. So start networking and go with your capability statement in hand for you to be able to utilize that. Great, great question. All right, perfect, 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 perfect. Let's take a look to see if we have any other questions here in the chat box. Yes, that was an amazing question. That was an amazing, amazing question. Once again, this is a live stream, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat. They will show up on our end, and we'll go ahead and answer your questions. I know it's always kind of a shy thing coming up on the stage, but look, this is a very free-flowing, organic type of conversation. All right, so what do we have here? All right, Miss Brooks. So as a freight broker that doesn't have any assets, when I'm presented with solicitation on bid match that fit the scope of transportation, but I would obviously have to subcontract the work out, should I still apply to these solicitations? Really, really good question, Ms. Brooks. So with this particular opportunity, so you're saying, hey, look, I'm non-asset based, but I have strategic partners that can help me to fulfill within this opportunity. So number one, when you're looking at these opportunities, where on those solicitations do they ask you if you are a broker, asset-based or non-asset-based? Right? Second, where on these solicitations and these opportunities do they ask for your brokerage MC and USDOT number? All right. So the government likes to do business with business. And so within transportation, I know that we are driven and focused on FMCSA regulations and how they operate within that umbrella. This looks a little bit different if you're looking at transportation within the public sector, government contracting. So the government does business with businesses. Okay. So we need to have a well-structured business, and then we need to then read that solicitation in detail and make sure that we can utilize our strategic partners and subcontracting is allowed on these opportunities. There are also several other strategies that I won't take up the time to talk about on this live Q&A that you can utilize as a non-asset based transportation company. All right, so there's a few different strategies there. But overall, the takeaway of this is absolutely, if you are a non-asset based transportation company and you are looking at hauling of engines for the government, and you don't own any flatbeds, but you have a ton of carriers that do, definitely still look at that opportunity as a opportunity for you to execute on utilizing your network, your strategic partner, your subcontractors. All right, great question on that one, and I love where you're going with that. Another thing that I want to ask you is, how are these large brokerage companies sustaining and growing in a market like this one? Have you guys ever thought of that? Have you looked at all the brokerage companies who are currently doing work with the government? All right. So we need to understand that you do not have to have assets to actually win and execute on a transportation government contract. They want to know, can you get the job done? They're not going to ever ask you, how many trucks do you have? Okay, so great question with that one. Love that question. I would definitely love to work with you, Miss Brooks. Definitely stay tuned. All right, we got another one in the queue. All right, what else is expected when joining Team Integrity? All right, perfect. I love that question. And it looks like, all right, cool. So that was the next question up, and I think that is actually a great, amazing segue into our next our next topic for today's live Q&A. So one thing that for me, I said, hey, look, what's going to differentiate my business from all of the rest? When I left nursing and left my corporate job to jump into transportation, I was like, well, wait a minute. There's a ton of transportation companies out there. So what would this really look like? And I started to do the research. And when I started to do the research, I quickly was able to identify it's saturated within this field. So I want to share some quick statistics with you for you guys to really see what this looks like. And so you guys, one thing that I want to ask you, there are 33 million small businesses in the United States. 33 million small businesses. All right. 20% fail in the first year in business. But what's even more shocking is that almost half of those businesses don't make it to year 5. And then what was even more surprising to me is that 80% of transportation businesses fail in the first year of business. So what's going to set us apart, and how are we going to beat those odds, right? So we need to understand the product and service that we're going to actually offer to the government, as we just talked about with Mark, right? I know it's like a kid in a candy store. When I first got started, I'm like, oh, I hit the jackpot. And I was bidding and just kind of scratching at everything. But not until I got niche specific and I understood, all right, cool, I'm going to focus on this one particular lane within transportation is when I was able to really do very well within transportation, within government contracting. So not only do we need a product and or service, but it needs to be very niche specific and that we can speak to with a high level of expertise. We're going to need diversity within our company portfolio. Just running off the low board, that's not going to get it, you guys. It's just not, right? Continuing to cold call, that's not going to get it either. We're going to also need capital. We talked about that on this call too, right? We're going to need the capital to flow. We need something that is recession proof. If we didn't learn anything from the last 2 to 3 years, we've learned that we have to diversify and we need a recession proof customer. A lot of us don't talk about sustainability enough. We talk about scale. Everyone wants to scale, but how do we sustain in very fragile markets like this one? Very inflated markets like this one? That's the government, you guys. That's the government. So really, let's talk about it really quickly. The government offers stability within your revenue, right? So government contracts provide a stable and consistent revenue. These are not necessarily one-offs, even though they have one-off type of opportunities, but they have consistent 10-year contract opportunities. You're not getting that off the low board. You're not even going to get that from a private customer. 10-year, 10 million opportunity. They provide scalability. Like we were just talking with Mark earlier, right? We can start out on the state level, the city level, even the county level, as low as possible, and start receiving below threshold purchase orders, right? And just start climbing with those $10,000 and $50,000 opportunities. And then before you know it, you're going to grow and you're going to start to scale where then you can onboard these particular programs such as 8A to leverage and scale your business to the next level. And then most importantly, credibility. All of us know what? The government prints the money. They're not going to close their doors. They don't suffer in a recession, and they're not going to file for bankruptcy. All right. So the government is one of the best customers to have, especially when you're looking for funding opportunities. If you take this piece of paper to any form of third-party funding institution, your chances of being funded are vastly increased versus you just going in there with your social security number and your okay credit score, right? And then once again, long-term contract opportunities, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, and up to 10-year contract opportunities for your business. What would this do for you as an entrepreneur, as a new business owner, as a small business owner, as a business owner who's been doing business for 5, 10, and 20 years the same way? And now you're ready to kind of take your business to the next level, right? They set the standard for us as small business owners. And most importantly, they provide diversity. The government buys any and everything that you can really imagine. So you may start out in government contracting, selling to them vanilla folders, which will then take your business in a different direction that will help you to scale and grow that business. So quick story, starting out within transportation, I never thought about doing this from a place of like brokering and subcontracting and all of those things. I entered into it just, hey, I want to take on all the assets. I wanted to own a fleet of 50, which I no longer do. And what was I thinking, right? You only know what you know, okay? And now I'm here sitting in front of you as someone who is saying, hey, look, I started out here owning assets, transportation company, to now Integrity Global Logistics, utilizing not only our assets, but also our strategic partners to help to leverage and grow. Within government contracting, it looks very different than our private market. So in our private market, the person to our left and our right, that's our competitors. We're not trying to align ourselves together. Within government contracting, this looks very, very different. Two strands are stronger than one. So aligning yourself with another business partner will always be more beneficial within government contracting than within your private sector. All right. So another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is I am you, essentially. I am you, right? I'm a girl from Chicago, had a testimony, found myself. I went on to achieve my master's degree in nursing, and I did nursing ER trauma for 7 years, and I climbed that corporate ladder. I played that game, but I said there has to be more. There has to be more. And so I envisioned it, I built it, I onboard mentorship, I expounded on my network and my strategic partners. I invested the capital. I invested the capital on what I wanted this to look like. I built the empire, I poured into the team, and here we are. You're going to have to make that mindset shift, and you're going to have to invest in yourself. All right. Yes, financially invest, but also invest in yourself in regard to personal development. Government contracting is very different from our normal day-to-day business operations that we do. And so you have to prepare yourself and what this is going to look like, what this is going to feel like, and how you're going to play your cards within government contracting. But most importantly, I want to tell you that it's possible. So with this, I went on. My first contract that I ever won was a 3-year contract with the Illinois Tollway, procuring of lumber, so products, and then transporting that lumber to all the various different Illinois Tollway construction sites that they were working on. Number one, I don't manufacture lumber. I don't have a lumber yard. And all that I had was assets at that time, and not all of them were flatbed, right? And so I executed on that contract. Mind you, this was a 6-figure, 3-year contract. We weren't getting that off the load board. We were just a brand new company. 4 months after registering with the government, we landed this first contract. And that is what built the momentum to where we're at today. My girlfriend said, there's no way, Melanie, that you can achieve this and not reach back out to your community. So I said, all right, cool. Let me start documenting this process. And I developed Trucking Meets GovCon mentorship. Some of you guys who are watching may be familiar. Some of you guys don't know. That mentorship did not quite yield me the results that I was looking for, transparently. And I had to do some research, and I had to go back, and I had to say, okay, why was this not yielding the results that I was looking for? And that was because with government contracting, there are a lot of steps that need to be taken for you to be registered and compliant to then bid on 6- and 7-figure contracts. They weren't executing on that component. So I said, all right, cool. Let's revamp this and let's go ahead and develop GovCon Done For You services. So 3 years later, here we are, where I have really figured out what do our small business owners need to build, grow, and scale their business, especially in a market like this, especially within the shift that is happening right before our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys don't see it, lift your head up. It's happening right before our eyes. And if never before, now is the time to onboard the government as your top customer, your main strategic partner as a business owner. And so let's talk a little bit about what does this look like for us as business owners. GovCon Done For You, I've broken it down into 6 core areas. So we have the education component, which is pivotal, which is key. Yes, it's done for you. Yes, we do all the work. Yes, we do all the heavy lifting. Yes, I insert a procurement team into your company, and we do all of the nitty gritty that is required. But you also have to be equipped with the education, because for me, it's nothing worse than you just watching me fish and you not have the skills to go fish yourself. So I onboard that within this program. We then build the empire. So we do a clean sweep of your company. We see where there's deficiencies. We identify those gaps and we correct that. We make sure that you're registered correctly, that you have the right NIGP, the next codes, the PSC codes, are onboarded within your portfolio. We then conduct the market research. Talked about that earlier too. This only works as if you conduct the market research. You need to know how to strategically position yourself in front of that department, in front of that agency, most important, in front of that purchasing officer, in front of that procurement officer who's making the decision, who needs to know who you are. And so that requires thorough market research to trend, where's the spending? Who is this customer? Who is this client's top customer within government contracting? Because they purchase so much, we need to really understand who purchases what I sell. All right. Then we build out a custom pipeline. This is a machine, you guys. This is a software and a tool that I've developed where we do active contract sourcing that we put and we funnel within your pipeline to grow your business, right? And it's just not any and all contracts. How many of you guys have been on sam.gov and are like, whoa, what the hell is this? I'm overwhelmed, right? No, you just need to see contracts that fall within your particular scope that your company can perform on. And this is what our team does with this custom pipeline. Not only that, we conduct all of your your marketing and networking within this pipeline. And then we facilitate with the bidding process. What does it look like to go or no go this opportunity? What does it look like to build out a 107-page, 10-year, $10 million contract opportunity? That can't be done alone. That requires a team, you guys. And so that's what we provide with our GovCon Done For You. Let's quickly break down these 12 weeks, right? So let's take a look at the first 3 weeks here. So week 1, we make an introduction, who you are, tell me a little bit more about your business. We then immediately start with our sam.gov intake form. And then we move into week 2 as we build out your market research and provide that to you. We build out your custom pipeline. We then move into your certification intake form. This is one of the heaviest lifts. How many of you guys have already attempted to start the certification process? Whoa! It's like 500 documents that they require from you, as well as your blood, right? It is a very strenuous process. We got it right. We have the templates. We have the process, and we have the team to help to fulfill, to leverage your woman-owned certification, your minority-owned certification, your veteran-owned certification. And then we move into week 3, where we start to look at what your business looks like from a high level and developing of that action plan, but not just developing that action plan, executing on that action plan. And then over the course of 4 through 6, we are registering you in DSBS. We are starting to conduct your market research. We're producing of your capability statement. We're developing a custom directory. So not just any and just all of these contracting officers. No, who are the contracting officers that need to know me, right? Who are the contracting officers that I need to show up in front of? Our team will conduct all of that for you and start sending out those introduction emails. We have proven email templates that gain the visibility of these contracting officers because they get so many emails day in and day out. We really need to understand, how do we start building a relationship with these contracting officers where they're just emailing us directly purchase orders that are below threshold, right? Then let's move into week 7 through 9. This is where some companies are actually ready to begin the bidding process, because we have went through and we did a fine-tooth comb of the company. We've registered you in all of the necessary different portals. We are producing of your custom capability statement. We are handling of your certifications. Now we're ready to kind of push through and move forward with the bidding process. Then most importantly, weeks 10 through 12, we are actually aggressively bidding, right? And we're starting to see some results of our efforts. Okay. How many of you guys would like to insert someone in your business to work on your business while you work in your business? This is what is the key thing that is needed to be successful in entrepreneurship overall. As solopreneurs, let's be honest, we're wearing all of the hats, from HR to payroll to onboarding to marketing to sales. The list goes on and on and on. You have to have someone to onboard the growth and the development of your company and work on your business, especially within the government contracting realm. All right. And so with that, I know that you guys are like, this definitely sounds like something that I have to take advantage of. Right. And so team integrity, we have had a plethora of people come through our program that have raved about what we're doing. Let the people tell you. Let the people tell you. They will tell you everything that we have achieved for their company that has really built, grow, and scaled their company. I'm personally passionate about helping small business owners. And so I want to offer to you guys a one-time offer. This is a 40K product. This is a 40K valued product that I want to offer to you for one time, 24 hours only, at only $5,000. This is a game changer for our businesses, right? So many of you guys are not very clear on what your 2024 is going to look like. Many of you guys don't even know what government contracting can do for your business. Some of you guys are very clear on what government contracting can do for your business. Those are the people that we want to work with. We are taking small businesses to the next level in 2024 with this program. Okay, so for a simple one-time payment, I have to reduce this program by 50%. You will not see this offer again. I am personally committed to helping small business owners, especially minority communities, really scale their businesses in 2024. Okay, if you guys are ready to take your business to the next level, if you guys want to insert a procurement team within your company and say, hey, look, you know what? I am ready to take it to the next level. We are offering you guys that opportunity. All right. So we are dropping in the comments. All right. We're going to drop in the comments here an opportunity for you guys to partner with us. All right. So if you guys are ready, so those who are who have joined us on the stage, you have access to this. For those who are within our live community, you who have registered for this this particular live session, you guys will be getting an email shortly with more detail. If you guys are highly interested, I want to work with those entrepreneurs who are ready to take their business to the next level. I am very clear on what this can do. We are 10xing your investment. Okay? We are 10xing your investment. It's the government. It's a win-win situation. All right? And so for those who are truly ready to take their business to the next level, please, please, please take advantage of this offer. It is available for 24 hours. 24 hours. You won't see this offer again. Now, if you let the 24 hours pass, there are different forms of payment plan options. Regardless if you don't make the 24-hour 50% off opportunity. All business owners who are listening to this call, you have to strategically align yourself with the government. A customer that does not suffer from inflation, that does not suffer from recession, that won't close their business doors and leave you high and dry. Oftentimes we are really stuck with the low board and spending the time on the low board, fishing and fishing and fishing, when you have your customer right here that you just have to pour into. All right. If you guys are really interested in taking your business to the next level, you guys can email info@Team Integrity Knowledge Center as well. We are available on across all social media platforms. You have my personal DM communication, Melanie Patterson, across all social media platforms as well. Most importantly, I want to thank you guys for betting on yourself and saying, hey, look, you know what? On this Saturday morning, I'm going to be in this room. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really hope to work with you guys. This is an opportunity that I am very, very clear on what this can do for us as small business owners. All right. My home office didn't always look like this. And all I want to do is pour back into our community and revitalize these small business owners. I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much again for being in the room. And I'll see you guys on the inside.